Good afternoon, dear members. I am Rahul Yogi, Company Secretary of ITD Cementation India Limited. I believe all of you are safe, secure, and keeping in fine health. I welcome all of you to the 43rd Annual General Meeting of the company being held today, that is 22nd September 2021 at 3 p.m. Indian Standard Time through video conferencing and other audio-visual means as permitted by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs and Securities and Exchange Board of India. The webcast of this meeting is being provided by National Securities Depository Limited. Before we commence, I would like to take you through certain key points for participating in today's AGM. The shareholders have been provided the facility to join the meeting through video conferencing, other audio visual means on first come first served basis. All the members joining this meeting have been kept on mute mode by NSDL by default to avoid any disturbance that could be caused by any background noise and to ensure smooth and seamless conduct of the meeting. Once the question and answer session begins, I will announce the names of the registered speaker shareholders one by one. The speaker shareholders will thereafter be unmuted by NSDL and will be allowed to express their views and ask questions. Before speaking, the speaker shareholders are requested to click the audio and video button appearing on the screen. While speaking, if any shareholder is unable to join through video mode due to any reason, the shareholder is requested to kindly switch off the camera, the video, and speak through audio mode. Speaker shareholders are requested to use earphones while speaking so that they are audible and any disturbance that could be caused by any background noise would also be minimized. Please also ensure that while you are speaking, your Wi-Fi is not connected to any other device and no other background applications are running in order to have good video and audio experience. In the event there is a connectivity problem at any speaker shareholder's end, he or she will be put on mute mode and we will request the next speaker to join the meeting. Once connectivity improves, then the previous speaker shareholder shall be called back to speak after all other registered speaker shareholders complete their turn. Speaker shareholders may please announce their names and the place from where they are attending the AGM before speaking. We would request the registered speakers to kindly restrict their speech to not more than 3 minutes and also not repeat matters already covered by previous speakers. During the meeting, if the members face any technical issue, he or she may call helpline numbers of NSDL as mentioned in the notice of the AGM. I would now request our chairman to kindly take over and continue with the proceedings. Thank you. Over to Chairman sir now.
Thank you, Mr. Niyogi. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The required quorum being present, the meeting is called to order. I, Piyachai Kanasuda, non-executive chairman of the company, attending the meeting from Bangkok, extend a warm welcome to you all at this 43rd annual general meeting of the company. For your kind information, the meeting is being live streamed to webcast. I thank you all for your participation in this meeting. The AGM of the company is being conducted through virtual mode in compliance with the directive issued by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs and Securities and Exchange Board of India on account of continuance of coronavirus pandemic and the need to maintain social distancing. I would now request all the directors who are present in this meeting to kindly introduce themselves and confirm their participation in the meeting from their respective venues. Ms. Ramola Mahajani, please.
Good afternoon to all. I'm Ramola Mahajani, Independent Director on the board of the company and Chairperson of the Nomination and Remuneration Committee. I'm attending this AGM from Mumbai. Thank you.
Mr. Sunil Shah Singh, please. Mr. Sunil Shah Singh, please.
am trying to Oh, okay. My name is Sunil Shah Singh. I am an independent director on the board of the company audit committee. Thing from my residence.
Okay. Mr. Pankaj Jain, independent director, is unable to attend the meeting due to certain preoccupation and personal reason. Next, Mr. Santi Chongkongkha, please.
Good morning to all. I am Santi Chongkha, Executive Vice Chairman of your company. I am attending this AGM from the Register Office of the company in Mumbai. Thank you.
Mr. Jayanta Basu, please.
Good afternoon to all. I am Jayanta Basu, Managing Director of your company. I am attending the AGM from Registered Office of the company in Mumbai. Thank you.
Representative of the Statute Auditor MS Walker Chandilak, representative of the Secretarial Auditor MS Paris and Associate, and Cost Auditor Mr. Suresh Chenoy are also present at the meeting through video conferencing. I would now request Mr. Rahul Niyogi, Company Secretary, to take us through regulatory matters and other general instruction relating to voting process. Thank you.
Dear members, before I take you through the voting process and other matters, let me also introduce to our CFO, Mr. Prashad Patwardhan, who is sitting to my extreme left. I'll now continue with the formalities of the regulatory matters. Since this AGM is being held electronically and physical attendance of the members has been dispensed with, the requirement of appointing proxy is not applicable. The company has received authorization from two shareholders appointing their respective representatives under section 113 of the Companies Act 2013 in respect of 8 crore 11 lakhs 580 equity shares in aggregate, representing 47.21% of the paid up equity share capital of the company. The register of directors and key managerial personnel and their shareholding and the register of contracts or arrangements in which the directors are interested are available electronically for inspection by the members during the AGM. Members seeking to inspect such documents can send an email to investor.relation@idtsame.co.in, in which is also mentioned in the AGM notice. The notice of the 43rd Annual General Meeting along with the audited standalone financial statements together with the board report and the auditor's report thereon and audited consolidated financial statements along with auditor's report thereon for the year ended 31st March 2021 had been emailed within the statutory period to all the shareholders whose email addresses are registered with their depository participant or with the company or KFin Technologies Private Limited, which is the company's registrar and transfer agents. With your kind permission, I take the notice of the meeting as read. Since there is no qualification, reservation, adverse remark or disclaimer made either by the statutory auditors in the auditor's report on the financial statements of the company or by the secretarial auditors in the secretarial audit report relating to statutory compliances for the year ended 31st March 2021, they do not require to be read out at this meeting. As required under the law, the company had provided for remote e-voting facility to the members to cast their votes electronically in respect of the business stated in the notice dated 28 May 2021. Members may kindly note that there are 4 agenda items at this AGM for their approval. 3 items of ordinary business proposed to be passed as ordinary resolutions, which are as follows. 1. To receive, consider and adopt the audited standalone financial statements together with the board report and auditor's report thereon and audited consolidated financial statements along with auditor's report for the financial year ended 31st March 2021. 2. To declare a dividend of 0.12 paisa per equity share of ₹1 each, which is 12% for the financial year ended 31st March 2021. 3. To appoint a director in place of Mr. Shanti Jongoka, having Dean number 08441312, who retires by rotation and being eligible offers himself for reappointment. There is one item of special business supposed to be passed again as ordinary resolution, which is as follows. Confirmation, approval and ratification of payment of fees to the cost auditor for the year ended 31st March 2022. As per the timelines mentioned in the AGM notice, remote e-voting facility was kept open from Sunday, 19 September 2021, 9 a.m. Indian Standard Time, up to Tuesday, that was yesterday, 21st September 2021, up to 5 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Members who have already exercised remote e-voting facility prior to the AGM may attend the AGM through VC or other audiovisual means, but will not be able to cast their votes again on the resolutions. Members who have not cast their votes earlier through remote e-voting and are otherwise not barred from doing so are eligible to vote through the e-voting system during the course of the meeting till up to 15 minutes from the time of conclusion of this AGM. Members may please note that there will be no voting by show of hands. Mr. P.N. Parekh, or failing him Mr. Mitesh Dhabliwala, or failing him Ms. Sarvari Shah of Parekh and Associates, practicing company secretaries, has been appointed as a scrutinizer for scrutinizing the e-voting process in a fair and transparent manner. The chairman has authorized Mr. Jayanta Basu, the managing director, and myself, company secretary, to declare the voting results severally and to do all acts, deeds as are necessary in this regard. As required by law, the combined results of remote e-voting and e-voting during the AGM, along with the scrutinizer's report, will be declared on or before 24 September 2021, and the results will be placed on the websites of the company and the registrar and transfer agents, KFin Technologies. The results will also be notified to both Bombay Stock Exchange Limited and National Stock Exchange of India Limited, where the company shares are listed. Thank you. I will now request Chairman Sir to please take over for reading out his chairman's statement. Thank you.
Dear members, with your kind permission, I will read out the chairman's statement. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me a great pleasure to welcome you all to this 43rd annual general meeting of the company. The annual report, together with audited financial statement and director's report for the year end 31st March 2021, are already with you. With your permission, I'll take them as read. It is the second year in a row that I missed the intimacy and warmth of face-to-face interaction with you because of the continuance of the COVID pandemic. However, the virtual meeting has enabled shareholders to participate in the AGM from the safety of their location. Impact of COVID-19. Throughout the first and the second wave of the pandemic, your company ensured that our employees, workers, subcontract workforce have received proactive Medicare by setting up our own quarantine centers at project location through hospital tie-ups, doctor on-calls, availability of medical facility and care, supply of nutritious food, and motivational training. We also ensure that employee and workforce have followed all protocols relating to COVID appropriate behavior. We have completed vaccination drive for most of our employees, workers at various sites, and their family members, as the health of its people is of paramount importance to the company. Economic scenario and infrastructure opportunity in India. India is expected to become the third largest construction market, with expected investment worth of 50 trillion across infrastructure segments for sustainable development in the country. The Prime Minister recently announced ambitious 100 lakh crore Gati Shakti master plan, which will offer multimodal connectivity to more than 1,200 industrial clusters, including 2 defense corridors across the country, to reduce the logistic costs and provide better connectivity. The new master plan for multimodal infrastructure will include projects under existing flagship schemes such as Bharat Mala, Sagamara, Udan Airport modernization, expansion of railway network including metros, inland waterways. This will generate many more opportunities in the infrastructure program under the National Infrastructure Pipeline led by the higher budgetary allocation in the next 5 to 6 years. I am pleased to inform you that your company already had rich experience and engineering competence to capitalize on such healthy opportunities in these sectors to align with the government initiative in the National Infrastructure Program. Your company has a well-diversified order book of 11,732 crore as at March 31st, 2021 that provide revenue visibility for the next 3 years. The order book comprises mainly of maritime structure, 33%, urban infra, MRTS and airport, 32.6%, hydro dams, tunnels and irrigation, 18.5%, industrial structure and building, 11.3%. Company performance. I am happy to report that despite the pandemic-induced volatility in the business environment, your company continued to deliver reasonable operational performance for the year end 31st March 2021. Your company consolidated revenue from operation was at 2,728 crore. Our consolidated EBITDA stood at 258 crore with EBITDA margin of 9.5%. Our net profit for the year was 18 crores. However, I would like to highlight as the situation starts to improve in the second half of the financial year, your company delivered a strong top-line growth, healthy EBITDA margin and profit after tax in quarter 3 and quarter 4 of 2020 and 2021, thereby demonstrate our operational efficiencies. Your company constant endeavor to focus on cash conversion from projects and reduce financial leverage so as to maximize our shareholder return. In our quest to achieve the objective, we managed to reduce our consolidated debt by 100 crore, thereby enabling us to achieve debt to equity ratio of 0.4x, which is amongst the lowest in the industry. Your company has been consistently reward our esteemed shareholder with dividend for the last several years. This year also, despite the several challenges, the board has recommended a dividend of 0.12 per equity shares, which represent an outgo of 13.08% of distributable profit. Your company is committed on pursuing a profitable growth opportunities both nationally and internationally with sizable order book, timely and costly effective execution of projects, efficient utilization of all resources, so as to create a long-term value for esteemed shareholders. Before concluding, I would like to thank the company leadership and management, including our parent company, Italian Thai Development Public Company Limited, for their continued guidance and support. I wish to convey my sincere thanks to the dedicated employee of our company for their commitment, devotion, and working tirelessly to create excellent enterprise. I would like to thank all of our dear shareholders for your continued trust, confidence, and support in endeavor of the company. I would like to record our deep appreciation for our customer, banks, financial institutions, vendors, subcontractors, suppliers, business associates, and various government regulatory authorities for their continued support and cooperation, trust, and understanding. Finally, I take this opportunity to once again thank the board members, particularly the distinguished independent director, for providing their leadership and direction to the company and its employees. They are always there to provide their invaluable guidance and counsel on a number of topics, and I truly value their partnership, which has helped the company position itself prominently in terms of governance and compliance standards. I wish and pray that this will emerge victorious from the crisis created by the pandemic. I urge each one of you to stay safe and take care of your loved ones. I now request Mr. Jayanta Basu, Managing Director, to share with you the company performance related highlights and some other information for general interest.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, and I thank all of you for joining us at the 43rd AGM of your company. It's my pleasure and privilege to be amongst all of you today. Our chairman has already addressed and covered most of our accomplishment in his speech. However, I would now like to brief you about some significant achievements during the year, status update on major projects, and opportunities pipeline that your company is pursuing to enhance future visibility of the company. During the year, your company has successfully completed tunneling work for Mumbai Underground Metro and Kolkata Underground Metro project, which are major milestones in our metro projects. We had difficulties in Calcutta Metro, as all of us know, but it was a big challenge, and through our technological advancement and our hard work, we could overcome that, and we are very happy about this prospect. Despite pandemic challenges, we have won projects over 2,800 crores in FY21. Some of the major projects are Marine Infrastructure Project in Karwar, which is around 1,145 crores. Breakwater Project at Bridgingham, which is around 411 crores. Circuit Bench of Calcutta High Court, 377 crores. Calcutta Metro, there are 7 stations we have secured, 293 crores. And we secured a bridge of our river Ganges, which is around 250 crores. I'm also pleased to share that in current financial year, that is till September 2021, your company has already won projects of around 1,700 crore. These key projects include water and sewage internal road bridges work at Karwar, which is around 900 crores. Dream City Depot at Surat Metro, 350 crores. Aerospace Museum at AF Station, 235 crores. As you are aware, your company is currently executing some of the complex civil heavy projects across different infrastructure areas. Normally, we are working in marine, underground metro, airport, building, and conventional tunnel and elevated metro work. In marine, the key projects what we are doing today is Udangudi, Port Blair, Haldia, Myanmar, which is overseas job, and Karwar Seabird project. In underground, Mumbai Metro still going on. As I have said that tunneling work is completed. Calcutta Metro in the verge of completion, and we have just started Bangalore Metro underground work, which has around 16% work we have completed so far. Other segment like airport, Pune Airport, Trichy Airport, they are almost done around more than 50%. In building, we are doing one work at CPWD Delhi, which we have completed around 2%. Conventional tunnel for Indian Railway and IRCON, we are doing at Shibak Rangpo in Sikkim. We have done around 20% of the work. An elevated metro, as you know that we had got Bangalore Metro and Nagpur Metro, which is now verge of completion. We hope by another couple of months' time, we'll be able to complete those jobs. One of the significant achievement during the last year is our work at Myanmar, which is overseas job. Despite of all adversity, we have progressed well, and we can see that by middle of next year the work will be completed. With this, I'll go to the opportunities. I'm pleased to inform you that your company currently has diversified order book of around 12,000 crores. And this breakup of order book, as Mr. Chairman has already mentioned, we have got from urban infrastructure around 32%, marine 27%, dams, hydro and tunnel 17%, industrial structure 13%, water and wastewater around 8%, specialized job 2%, and highway and bridges 1%. In addition, with strong visibility for metro, marine, industrial structures bidding pipeline, the company have identified and submitted several bids. The company expects strong rebound on the back of rapid vaccination drives, thrust on infrastructure investments by the government under National Infrastructure Pipeline, which shall give fillip to the infrastructure spending, and we expect to improve further in third and fourth quarter of the fiscal year. We are confident on the positive outlook on the company, given the diversified order book, which provides revenue visibility for next 3 years, and healthy bidding pipeline, disciplined strong execution capabilities, a lean balance sheet, strong support of advanced technology, skilled labor, and our parent company support. We are committed to pursuing profitable growth opportunities both nationally and internationally to create long-term value for all our esteemed stakeholders. Thank you.
I hope you would have obtained a good insight into highlights of your company performance. I now invite questions, comments, if any, from the member on any of the items of business stated in the notice. I would request Mr. Rahul Niyogi, the company secretary, to announce the name of the registered members one by one for their questions and comments.
Thank you, sir. I would request all speaker shareholders, as I mentioned earlier, who have registered their names once again to kindly limit their queries to not more than 3 minutes each, giving out the names and place from where they are attending the AGM before speaking. We have our first speaker, Mr. R.R. Havaldar. Mr. Havaldar, you may please speak now.
Yeah, very good afternoon. My name is R.R. Havaldar, respected Chairman, Executive Vice Chairman, and Managing Director and distinguished directors and the elite management team of ITD. Very good afternoon. I'm very happy as well as very delighted to be part of this 43rd Annual General Body Meeting of our company. I'm in receipt of the annual report for the year ending 2021, and I really appreciate overall the report, pictorial report and designs use making the shareholders to understand real activities what we are doing, and they don't have to be, you can make yourself by seeing the pictures. I'm also very happy the works are going very smooth despite pandemic COVID-19 disease. For the last 2 years, we have achieved a turnover of about 2,200 crores under dynamic leadership of young chairman, executive vice chairman, and the managing director of the company. I'm very, very, very happy. They have taken all adequate measures in overcoming the present environmental situation, and they have executed good amount of work. I'm also very happy during the year, we have booked an order of about 2,800 crores despite all odds. And we too have booked orders of another about 1,700 crores during the first 2 quarters of this new year. Overall, our chairman has already highlighted what are the opportunities which are coming on our way in the coming years and how India is growing with this construction area and going to be number 3 and number of works which are coming in our field of operation. And we have got adequate skills to take the challenges and execute these works. I am also very happy to know that we have completed 2 major tunnels, one in Mumbai and one Kolkata for Mumbai Metro. And there are furthermore new opportunities which are coming in our way. As far as the margins are concerned, okay, it's a little bit impact is there because of the pandemic COVID-19, but there are a lot many opportunities as the work will be coming up. We have got this one opportunity to enhance the same. I am very happy with the overall performance of the company, and I am sure it will increase further and all the shareholders will get benefit out of it. I am very much proud of all the members of our management team and the company for achieving these goals. I wish all the very best to our company. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hawaldar. We have our second speaker, Ms. Lekha Shah. Ms. Lekha Shah, you may kindly speak now.
Hello, can you hear me, sir?
Yes.
Hello.
We can hear you.
Thank you, sir. Respected Chairman, sir, Board of Directors, and my fellow members, good afternoon to all of you. Myself, Lekha Shah, Mumbai from Andheri. First of all, I am very much thankful to our company secretarial team, especially Sonal ma'am, for extending very good investor services and also sending me the AGM notice by email well in time in such a difficult situation. So I am very grateful to our company secretarial team. Thank you, Chairman sir, for explaining us well about the company. Congratulations for excellent work, sir. Sir, this is the second AGM is conducted through video conference. I hope next year, by the grace of God, that situation get better and we have a physical meeting. Sir, though times are tough and unpredictable currently, I am sure that our company has ability to deliver growth and increase the shareholders' value in the coming years, as has been demonstrated this year. I would thank to all personnel of our company receiving awards and recognition by the various plans during this year 2021. And also, I am happy the company is doing very well in the field of CSR activities. I am proud to be a shareholder of this company. Chairman sir, I am happy to see all the good deeds that you have done during this tough time. I pray to God that He is always shower His blessing upon you. Sir, I am confident that with your vision and determination, you will lead our company to greater height. And also, I pray to God our company should progress more and more under you and your team's work. Sir, I would like to ask few questions. My first question is, has there been any impact of COVID second wave on the company operations? My second question is, what are the learning from the lockdown and how is the company implementing those learning? My third question is, how is our company operating? Are we operating from home or are they working from the office? My fourth question is, all our employees vaccinated against COVID-19? My fifth question is, how many of our employees were affected by COVID-19? So, I would like to say, I strongly propose all the resolutions for today's meeting and my best wishes always our company and its prosperity. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Ms. Lekha Shah. Our next speaker is Ms. Celestine Elizabeth Mascarenhas.
Hello. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you clearly.
Okay, but video is no, video also, video also. Just give me a little time. Let me settle with the video properly. Respected Chairman, PIHI, Karna Sood, other honorable directors, both from India and Thailand, Bangkok, my fellow shareholders attending this virtual. I am attending from Mumbai. My name is Mrs. C.E. Mascarenhas. First of all, I'll thank the company secretary Rahul Niyogi and his team for sending me e-notice, agent notice, and also a report, and also registering to my request for speaking in this meeting and giving me this platform. Now I come to the working. Our order book is up. Revenue PBT also good. EPS has also has gone down, but we have got lot of projects. And what I find is our vision, mission, and core principle statement is very good. And with this, definitely we are going ahead. Also, I congratulate for all the awards for especially being the best, which just now chairman has said. I congratulate for this. Also, I am happy with the CSR work and also ESG done as requirement of late. Now my query is, sir, how many were affected by COVID, recovered how many, and fatalities and the vaccination level? So my second question, we are in the following: construction of offshore maritime structures, mass rapid transit systems, including elevated corridors, underground metro stations, building and tunnels, industrial structures, airport, terminal buildings, technological buildings, hydroelectric power plants, foundation and specialty engineering with reclamation and ground improvement, etc., etc. So many things. I would like to know where, in which sort of vertical in this we have a cutting edge, core competence. We are in core competence, because if we have a very good cutting edge in any of these like contracts, we will have a good margins. So can you spell out in which we get more margins, and which sort of these verticals there is a lot of demand and the future in these type of things? Number three, order book as on 31/3/21 was 11,732 crores. How much is the order for the last quarter? So fourth is, did you face any supply chain disruptions also about the contract labor, especially the migrant laborers? Please throw some light. We have a very well-defined whistleblower policy. How many frauds were detected in this policy? Lastly, but not the least, sir, can you spell out future roadmap for the next 3 years with CAPEX, ESG, and COVID protocol, and the learning from COVID 1 and 2? I have supported all the resolutions. I know our company will stand tall in tough times, because tough times don't last all, but tough people are definitely lasting always, So with this, I wish you all very good health and wealth, and may our company grow strength to strength with a great relation between Thailand and India, and all good wishes to my Thailand directors. And I would like to share here from the chairman, what is the COVID level in Bangkok, especially because I have been 3-4 times to Bangkok. So I'm quite keen to know what is the COVID happening there. Whereas in India, we are having, especially I'm coming from Mumbai, we are also having many COVID cases. So if in the end, if we could throw little light on that, it is my inquisitiveness. With this, thank you very much for giving me this patient hearing, and maybe see for a physical meeting next year along with the virtual. With this, thank you and namaskar, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Mascarenhas. Our next speaker is Mr. Vinod Agarwal. Mr. Agarwal, you may please speak now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. You can put on your video screen also. So,
You want me to put on my camera? I'm putting on my camera.
yes, please.
Yeah, hello. Respected Chairman PHI Kamasutaji and Kannasutaji, our Executive Vice Chairman Santi Jong Kongka, our MD Jayanta Basu, our CS Rahul Negi, and our CFO Prasad Parduadanji. Regards and good afternoon to everyone, sir. I've been going through your annual report the way I could. Sir, I find the order book has increased substantially over the past 3-4 years, but the revenues have not been able to match up to the order book that we have got, sir. For the past 3 years, we've been having increased order books on our hand, but the total revenue growth has not matched it, sir. I think is it due to only the COVID factor, or the executions have become slower? And because the executions are slower, the profits are lower, sir. And it is healthy that you have reduced 100 crores of debt last year, and your debt equity is only 0.3 or 3.3% of the point left, sir. And sir, I've seen your projects in the annual report from pages 26 to 41. They're excellent projects, very infrastructure projects, sir. And also the awards mentioned on page 45 are commendable for our company, sir. And I will like to thank for the very colorful, pictorial, and very comprehensive annual report, been and well tabulated, well graphic. It's easy to understand the graphic and tabulated annual report, sir. For this, Rahul Negi and his team deserves a good compliment, sir. And the dividend you have shelled out is 12 paise on one rupee share, sir. It has been noted. Sir, 1 second, sir. Sir, hello. Yeah, 1 second, sir. Our order book is on standalone 9,850 crores, and on consolidated is about 12,000 crores, 11,732 crores. The execution and the revenues which are seen about 27, this should last for about 4 years. The order book on hand, and if we win more orders, will the time period would get extended. And I'd like to know this order book. Are there any timelines to be finished? It can be 2 years, 3 years. What is the timeline given to execute these projects, sir? This 11,700 crore of project to be executed by when, sir? I am signing off. Thank you, Vinod Agarwal from Mumbai, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vinod Agarwal. Our next speaker is Mr. Tamal Kumar Majumdar. Mr. Majumdar, you may kindly speak now.
1 minute, sir. 1 minute. 1 minute. I'm joining. Wait. Is it okay?
We are not able to hear you clearly.
Is it okay now? Is it okay?
Yes, now it's okay, and you can put on your camera also, please. Yes, we are visible. Yes.
Good afternoon, Mr. Kannasuta, MD Mr. Basu, and Mr. Singh and other directors of the company. Myself, Tamal Kumar Majumdar, an equity shareholder of the company from Calcutta, and joining the meeting after a long time. And thank you both, Mr. Chairman and Mr. Basu, for sharing their thoughts with us. Our secretarial team under the leadership of Rahul Niyogi is always ready to help its shareholders. He, though a bit introvert, is one of the best company secretaries of our time. He always remains low profile despite his vast knowledge. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for choosing such a fantastic professional to look after shareholder related issues. I have gone through the annual report of financial year 21, which is more than 200 pages, 225, I think. Investor presentation, as well as Q1 results. And I believe within 3 minutes, it is not possible to talk to this. So I seek your indulgence. I have some queries and I seek your indulgence. I'm not going to take 30 minutes or 10 minutes or like that, but we'll try to complete as soon as possible. So considering the COVID pandemic, our company's financial results for financial year 2021 is not at all bad. During financial year 21, our company booked a PAT of 19 crore on standalone basis. Company's recovery noticed in Q4 of financial year 22 with EBITDA 21 with EBITDA margin of 14.3%, And despite second wave of COVID, its EBITDA margin for Q1 of financial year 22 was 11.5% on standalone basis. And it booked a profit of 24 crores on standalone basis in Q1. Sir, in page 11 of our report, Mr. Basu, you and our vice chairman mentioned that they hope to double our top line and order book with improved margins supported by healthy cash flows. Taking into account these factors, would you please share with us your expectation for the remaining part of the year? Sir, the company booked 8.48 crores as provision no longer required written back under revenue from operations. It is in page 139 instead of other income. Why it is being shown as revenue from turnover? It is being added with turnover. I never came across such thing earlier. Okay, it's a provision right back, and you are showing it on the turnover. So I want to know your position in this respect. What is the reason? And sir, company reduced its debts by 100 crores during financial year 2021. Do we believe that within the period of 3 to 5 years, we will be able to repay all our debts and depend on internal accruals for our future requirements? Sir, the statutory auditor put emphasis of matter in its audit report. Whether it is still affecting our business? And sir, as per investor presentation dated 6/8/2021, total work of the group in hand on 18/5/2021 was in construction and concession was 81,044 crores. And our share was 11,732 crores as on 31st March. And Mr. Basu, you mentioned within September you got another 1,700 crores. So it comes to nearly 12,000 crores. So the share is nearly 15% of the total order which the company showed in its presentation of the total order booked. And company also mentioned in its presentation that there are projects with lowest bid under negotiation was 4,662 crores. What is our share in it? In this 4,662 crores, what is our share? And whether projects with lowest bid under negotiation converted into actual order till date? So the management proudly mentioned mentioned our presence in 13 states, 1 union territory and Delhi NCR. But if you look at the statewise order book position, that it may be noted that 4 states, namely Karnataka, West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat and Delhi NCR contributed 75% of our total order. So out of 13, 4 states and Delhi NCR contributed 75% of our order. What about other states like UP and others? Your view, please, sir, in this regard. Sir, it is noted from 153 that top 5 customers contributed 50.33% and 1 client contributed 14.1% of revenue during financial year 21 on standalone basis. Don't you think that dependence on high dependence on top clients is not at all a good sign for a company like us? Failure to pay by 1 client like Evergrande in China, what happened in Evergrande in China, will do havoc in our financials, don't you think? You are depending on 5 customers for getting 50% of your orders. And take for example, last year our company provided 40.93 crores under exceptional items towards current debts, unbilled WIP from a customer. What steps you have taken to avoid such occurrence? And whether you filed any case against the company against whom we provided 40.93 crores and any recovery made till date. Present status is to be disclosed, mentioning the name of the company. Sir, we are depending heavily on PSU and government, and their contribution is 90% of our total contracts, of our order book position, and remaining 10% with private sector. And what I noted from your clients, the only JSW and Tata Power's name is there from the private sector. Depending on government projects creates problem due to delayed payments and other factors, which increases our interest cost. Take for example, out of total net receivable of rupees 481.32 crores during financial year 21, 71.38% dues or 343.57 crores receivable from government PSUs. It is in 153 page. It is 153, sir. How are we coping with the problem? And sir, in the era of soft interest regime, why we are paying 11 to 12.5% interest on per annum against plant loans from others? It's a soft loan regime now. So 11 to 12.5% is very high from loan from others for buying plant and machinery like others. Why we are paying? Why we are not? We are approaching the banks or tapping the banks in this regard. And sir, why plant expenses under other expenses in page 141 increased to abnormally during financial year 21 at 121.41 crores from 88.41 crores during financial year 20. Sir, I am a bit surprised noticing the wording of note 34, page 144 of a professionally managed company, where it mentioned that one scrap dealer defrauded the company by manipulating the quantity of scrap purchased valued at 48 lakhs. It is not clear to me on what basis the company ruled out involvement of any employee official, as it is the duty of the company staff officials to check the quantity purchased before its billing by the scrap dealer. How the dealer took it outside without the connivance of employees or security guards? We don't expect such childish note from a company controlled by an MNC. And one straight reply from your end. What is the present status in this regard? Any recovery made as on date? Sir, the company paid royalty of rupees 10.77 crores to its parent during financial year 21. It is in page 141. What is the basis of the payment? How we used to calculate? And sir, we have a free reserve balance of 1,047.52 crores as on 31st March 2021, consisting of securities premium, jail reserve and retained earnings. It is in page 113. If we divide it with the number of shares, then it comes to 60.97 per share of rupee 1 each. It is in 113, sir. So every share, the free reserve is 60.97. That is nearly 61 rupees per share. The company has not declared any bonus during its 90 years. Company proudly declared that they are in India for 90 years. And said there is no bonus issue during its lifetime, nor it is paying high dividend. With the free reserve of 60.97 per equity share of rupee 1 each, whether we may expect a special dividend in the near future. And last point, sir, is there any possibility on the part of our parent, Italian Thai Development Company Limited, to increase its stake to more than 50% in the near future from its current holding of 46.64%? Mr. Chairman, as you are representing our parent company, so asking this question to you, sir. Thank you all for patient hearing.
Thank you, Mr. Majumdar. We have our next speaker, Mr. Kirti Shah. Mr. Shah, you may please speak now.
Sir, Mr. Shah has not joined the meeting. With this, we have completed all the speaker shareholders.
Okay. Thank you so much. I would request our MD and Mr. CFO kindly respond to the queries of the shareholders.
Okay, thank you for all the questions. I think we'll start with Ms. Lekha Shah first. Madam, your first question was what is the effect of second wave of COVID in our business? Yes, it has affected a bit, but as we had the similar situation last year, we probably know better place today how to handle it. So our damage this time in second wave is less. And there is some effect of lockdown which continued till 2 months back, which has mainly affected our supply chain and the project performance. But as far as labor is concerned, we could able to keep them this time in second wave. So yes, in a nutshell, that second wave has affected, but much less than the first wave. Work from home was continuing till a month back. Now mostly we are working from office. And in fact, the project sites are concerned. They are all working from project for since last year. We have taken about vaccination. Your question was whether everybody is vaccinated. We have taken special drive at each of the project sites and office, including the family member of the employees, all are vaccinated, and that is much appreciated by our team of HR and IR. They have done a very good job. I think that is all from Ms. Lekha Shah. The next question was from Ms. Mascarenas. Yes, you are asking about the COVID, whether any casualty or any effect on our. Yes, we have. Sorry to say that we have lost 3 of our good colleagues due to COVID, and Mr. Sanjay Kumar, Mr. Another Kumar, and one of our colleague has lost their life. But as a company, we have compensated their family. We had a policy developed, so we are trying to take care as much as possible. Vaccination level, as we have just mentioned, we have all completed. Most of the staffs are vaccinated. Your third question was about that we are working in several segments like marine, underground, MRTS, airport, and many others. Which of the segments out of these are good profit making? Yes, I think marine and underground metro is a good segments where we are able to make good profit, and our focus is also to increase our revenue in these two segments. Your third question was regarding order book. Yes, we have got robust order book of 11,732 crores, and order book is good, but still we are trying to improve it because we have to grow. Then order book also has to increase. Regarding supply chain management and migrant labor, I have already replied. Migrant labor effect is much less now because what happened, the amount of care we have taken for the laborers during the first COVID, they believe that it is better for them to stay at site rather than going back to a native place. So we could encourage them to stay at site, and so the labor problem has been much less now. Regarding future roadmap, we want to definitely grow at certain percentage that we are working out, as because there are a lot of opportunities, and our capex level also mostly for the plant and machinery which we replace. Otherwise, our capex is also under control. I think that answers most of the question by Ms. Markanas. Third question was Mr. Vinod Agarwal. He was also asking about the order book of 12,000 crore. But his question was different. His question was that order book is so high, why the revenue is less? Revenue mostly affected last year due to COVID. As you can see that in our first quarter, our revenue was only 400 crore. Normally work around 800 crore per quarter. Second quarter around 500 crores. So it is a clear demonstration that due to COVID, we could not do well in first 2 quarters. And that has affected the overall revenue of last year. Otherwise, this 12,000 crore order we should complete by 3 years' time. 3.5 years' time. And I think that's all from Mr. Vinod Agarwal. And the next question was Mr. Kamal Majumdar. very long questions, and we have tried to jot down as much as possible, Mr. Tamal. But I am sure that we will not be able to answer all the questions because we could not get the time to jot down all your questions. You said that despite of the COVID, our PAT of 19 crore is not bad. Thank you for your appreciation. And you wanted to have the guideline going forward about revenue and EBITDA. As we have seen that we should grow at the rate of somewhere between 15 to 20%. We try to maintain this run rate going forward for another 2-3 years time. Regarding revenue, there is a specific question about write back of 8 crore and all. Shall we be able to answer that?
Sir, when we write off any expense or any receivable, it gets reported as a cost, as an expense, and when it is written back, it is shown on the income side in our profit and loss account. So although it is not directly a revenue from our operations, it is shown on the income side, and that is the way it is presented in the financial statements.
We have appreciated that we have reduced the debt by 100 crore, and going forward we will try to maintain the same tempo to reduce the debt further. You have a question about the distribution of the job among the state of India. You said we have got so many states, why you are only concentrating on West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, why not UP and other states? Look, the job what we are in, that basically marine and underground. The marine jobs are all in coastal area, which is basically Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. And the metro job also we are doing in Karnataka and West Bengal. Is it just happen like that? There is no intention not to do work in UP or do more work in some other state. It has just happened because there are opportunity and we could secure the job. That is why in certain states like Karnataka and West Bengal our presence is more. In fact, there is no specific strategy whether to work in certain state or not. It has just happened like that. Similar question was top 5 customer which gives 50% revenue. Is it a risky proposition? Yes, I agree with you that we should not put everything in one basket. But at the same time, if you see today, the customer like metro, airport, and railway, they are the main customer where you are getting our work. So naturally, it is restricted to only 3 or 4 government customers. Similarly, in private also, it is basically the Adani port, the DP World, Port of Singapore, those who are in marine sector. So it is a fact that our 80% revenue comes from 5 or 6 customers, and we are okay too with that. You have mentioned about that last year write-off of 45 crore from a special from some of the customer. I have to mention it. It is ILFS, and though we have written down, but still our effort is on. But as we all know that ILFS is a robust, global issue, and we don't have much to do on that. But we are trying our best. Whatever is possible, we'll try to retrieve from there. And your second question was how to prevent such situation in future. Very pertinent question. In fact, every day we are developing, we are having a very robust system of evaluation of the tender. We see who is the client, what is the nature of job. We have improved our risk mitigation measure. We hope that in future we will be trying to avoid such type of job where we have risk of not getting paid. Similarly, our over dependence on PSU and government job also you have mentioned, but I slightly differ with you because it is not only PSU government job, we do a lot of job for private sector, particularly clients like those who are having MNC presence like Port of Singapore, DP World, and AP Moller, Toyo, some other Japanese client, and even from India, Adani. So there are a lot of private players, those who are our client, and we are equally working for them as well. You have mentioned that why you pay 11 to 12% interest, which is high. We have to say that every company like us also has got a limitations to avail the bank facility. So we require money to run the business, So our money comes from bank and our money comes from client from advance as well. Now you have to accept the tender condition. In tender condition, most of the government company, they maintain that rate of interest will be 10 to 11% or SBL or probably 1%, which comes to 11-10%. You don't have much to do on that. But at the same time, I must also say that with a private client, we try to take advance at 0% interest level. And we are quite successful in that. So it's a mix of that. So somewhere where we cannot do anything, we take in higher interest. In some places, even zero interest. Your question regarding the scrap at Nagpur, yes, we are all concerned about that. But it has happened that someone, this vendor, he could do something electronically to reduce the weight of the consignment, and we are investigating it. Even before that, there is a police case and there is a warrant against the supplier, and he is now fugitive. So we are taking all action to punish this guy, and at the same time we have put our team to find out what improvement is required to prevent such issues in future. There is a question regarding the basis on the royalty. Prashad, could you get that question?
Royalty, we have paid this to our parent company ITD for a number of years now. As our parent company and single largest shareholder, they work very closely with us on the execution strategy of our projects, on the bidding, and they are also involved with us in passing on the technology that we require for execution of these projects. And for this, we are paying them a royalty of 0.5% of our turnover, and that is what is getting reported in our financial statements.
Regarding special dividend and bonus,
Management will consider that at an appropriate time and come back to you. Right now we are more concerned with using our resources for our project execution and getting out of the COVID related issues that we have been facing, and hopefully once COVID is behind us and we come back to the normal scale of and level of our operations, we'll again evaluate the possibility of how we can reward the shareholders, and then come back to the shareholders with that. Thank you.
last question, probably I have missed one or two for sure, but still the last question to our chairman, that is there any possibility for parent company to increase the share from 46%? So I would request Mr. Chairman kindly if you can address this.
Yes, I think in the future it might possible, but it's depend on the direction of ITD too. But it's a big possibility that we can increase in the future.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Chairman, sir, if you can kindly.
Okay. I believe that the questions and comments have adequately dealt with. I thank the member for showing their interest in the company operation, for incisive question asked and the valuable comment made. I would like to thank all of the shareholders who are attending this meeting through video conferencing. The e-voting process will continue for the next 15 minutes and will be disabled thereafter. With your kind consent and all the board members, I now declare the meeting closed and wish all the shareholder and their family a very healthy and safe future. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, once again for being with us this afternoon through video conferencing. Thank you.